Hans Valentin Hube was born in Naumburg, Germany in 1890, at a time when the country was rapidly modernizing and growing in power under Kaiser Wilhelm II. From a young age, he showed a disciplined and determined character, qualities that would define his entire life and military career. When the First World War began in 1914, Hube volunteered for the German army. He served with distinction on the Western Front, where he proved to be a capable and fearless officer. During that war, he was severely wounded and lost his left arm, but that injury never slowed him down. Instead of retiring, he continued to serve, adapting to his disability and developing a reputation for toughness and resilience. By the end of the First World War, he had been decorated for bravery and leadership, leaving the conflict as a decorated officer with a deep sense of loyalty to his comrades and his country. When the war ended in 1918, Germany was in chaos. The monarchy had fallen, the country was humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles, and the army was largely disbanded. Like many former soldiers, Hube struggled to find his place in the new, unstable Weimar Republic. He remained in the small professional army that Germany was allowed to keep under the Versailles restrictions. During these years, he built a reputation as a serious, no-nonsense officer who cared deeply about his men and about restoring the honor of the German military. He was not a political radical, but he, like many officers, resented the limitations placed on Germany and longed for a return to strength and unity. When Adolf Hitler came to power in 1933, promising to rebuild the military and restore national pride, Hube, like many career officers, supported the changes because they meant an end to the years of humiliation and disarmament. As Germany rearmed in the 1930s, Hube rose steadily through the ranks. He became known for his discipline, attention to detail, and his ability to inspire troops in difficult situations. He was demanding but fair, respected rather than feared. By the time the Second World War began in 1939, he was already an experienced commander in the new Wehrmacht. When Germany invaded Poland, Hube served as part of the rapid and coordinated operations that shocked the world with their speed and effectiveness. His command performance was noted by his superiors, and he was soon promoted to higher responsibility. When the invasion of France began in 1940, Hube again demonstrated his tactical skill. The German advance through France was swift and decisive, and Hube's leadership was marked by steady control and precise maneuvering. He was known for staying calm under pressure and for personally visiting his frontline units even under fire. He believed that a commander needed to see the situation with his own eyes and that soldiers needed to see their commander sharing the same dangers. These qualities earned him the deep loyalty of his men. By the time France surrendered, Hube had become one of the army's respected mid-level generals, admired for both his bravery and professionalism. When Germany turned eastward in 1941 to invade the Soviet Union, Hube's military abilities were tested as never before. The Eastern Front was a brutal and unforgiving battlefield. He commanded the 16th Panzer Division, part of the German forces that stormed deep into Soviet territory. In the opening months of Operation Barbarossa, his division fought in some of the largest and most destructive battles of the war, including the encirclement at Kiev and the advance toward the Dnieper River. The fighting was intense and conditions were harsh, but Hube's division continued to perform with effectiveness and cohesion. His leadership style emphasized mobility, coordination between armor and infantry, and quick decision-making, all of which were vital in the fast-moving battles of the early Eastern Campaign. As the war dragged on, however, the initial German advantages faded. By 1942, the Wehrmacht was stretched thin, facing fierce Soviet resistance and the challenge of supply shortages across vast distances. Hube continued to show exceptional leadership, and in recognition of his achievements, he was promoted and awarded the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross with oak leaves, one of Germany's highest military honors. That same year, his division was sent to the Southern Front to take part in the drive toward the Caucasus and Stalingrad. Hube's forces fought bitterly, but the campaign soon turned into a disaster for the German army. When the Soviet counteroffensive encircled the 6th Army in Stalingrad, Hube and his units were caught up in the desperate struggle to hold positions under impossible conditions. Although his division was heavily engaged, Hube managed to organize a defensive withdrawal and fought skillfully to delay Soviet advances. When the situation became hopeless, he was ordered to break out westward, and unlike most German commanders trapped in the Stalingrad pocket, Hube managed to escape encirclement with part of his forces. His ability to maintain order during the chaos of retreat and his success in bringing back a portion of his men earned him respect, even among those who disagreed with the broader strategy of the campaign. His courage and composure under pressure became legendary among his peers. After Stalingrad, Hube was given command of the 15th Panzer Corps, and later the 1st Panzer Army, which became one of the most important formations on the southern sector of the Eastern Front. He faced the difficult task of holding the line against powerful Soviet offensives while managing constant shortages of fuel, ammunition, and replacements. The conditions were brutal, but Hube's army continued to fight effectively, often maneuvering out of potential encirclements and conducting organized retreats that saved thousands of German troops from destruction. One of his most famous achievements came in early 1944 during the battle around the city of Kamenets-Podolsky in western Ukraine. Soviet forces had encircled his entire army, numbering more than 100,000 men. Rather than surrendering or disintegrating under pressure, Hube organized a remarkable fighting withdrawal. Through a combination of careful planning, constant movement, and aggressive counterattacks, his troops managed to break out of the Soviet encirclement and rejoin German lines. The escape was considered one of the most skillful operations on the Eastern Front, and even his enemies acknowledged his tactical brilliance. For his success, Hube was promoted to the rank of Colonel General and awarded the swords to his Knight's Cross. He had become one of the most celebrated field commanders in the German army, admired for his professionalism, integrity, and courage. Although he remained loyal to his duty as a soldier, Hube was not known for political enthusiasm. He focused on military matters and rarely involved himself in ideological discussions. Many accounts suggest that he was respected, even by those who distrusted the Nazi leadership, because he was seen as a true soldier rather than a political opportunist. He valued discipline, camaraderie, and efficiency, and he was known to express frustration with some of the unrealistic orders coming from the high command, particularly those issued directly by Hitler. However, like most senior officers, he obeyed orders faithfully, believing that his duty was to his soldiers and his country, not to personal judgment. In early 1944, after his success in Ukraine, Hube was recalled to Germany and assigned to help reorganize the defenses in Italy. By this time, the Allies had invaded the Italian peninsula, and German forces were fighting a difficult defensive campaign against the advancing British and American armies. Hube was placed in command of the German forces in Sicily, where he had to manage a complex retreat in the face of overwhelming enemy air and naval power. Once again, he performed with great skill, orchestrating an orderly withdrawal of German troops from the island to the Italian mainland with minimal losses. The operation was one of the most efficient evacuations of the war and demonstrated Hube's ability to combine strategy with logistical precision. His success in Sicily further enhanced his reputation, and by 1944, he was one of the most highly regarded generals in the Wehrmacht. Hitler personally decorated him with the diamonds to his Knight's Cross, one of the rarest and most prestigious awards in the German military. Despite his high honors, Hube remained humble and continued to share the hardships of his troops. He was often seen at the front, wearing his simple field uniform and moving among his soldiers, encouraging them and inspecting positions personally. His missing arm had long since become a symbol of his endurance and courage, earning him the nickname the One-Armed General among his men. Hube's remarkable career was cut short just days after one of his greatest triumphs. In April 1944, he returned to Germany to attend a conference and receive his final promotion. After the ceremony, he boarded an aircraft to return to his command. The plane crashed shortly after takeoff near Salzburg, killing everyone on board. Hans Hube was 53 years old. His death was a significant loss to the German army, which, at that stage of the war, was desperately short of experienced and capable leaders. His funeral was conducted with full military honors, and Hitler himself attended the ceremony, recognizing Hube as one of Germany's most skilled and loyal commanders. Hans Hube's life reflected the story of many professional soldiers of his generation, men shaped by 2 world wars, driven by a sense of duty and loyalty rather than ideology, and caught in the vast machinery of a destructive conflict. He was a man of discipline, bravery, and intelligence, who served his country with unwavering commitment. His leadership saved countless soldiers through skillful planning and calm command, yet like many of his fellow officers, his talents were ultimately used in service of a regime whose ambitions brought devastation to Europe. Hube's legacy is therefore complex. On one hand, he remains a symbol of professional military excellence, a commander who inspired loyalty and respect through competence and courage. On the other hand, his career reminds us that even honorable soldiers can be drawn into unjust causes by their sense of duty and obedience. Hans Hube's story is one of endurance and professionalism under the most extreme conditions. Despite losing an arm, he never allowed his injury to define him or limit his capacity to lead. He faced some of the harshest campaigns in modern warfare, from the frozen steppes of Russia to the burning hills of Sicily, and in each case, he maintained control, discipline, and faith in his men. Though his life ended suddenly, his name remains remembered among historians of the Second World War as an example of tactical brilliance and unwavering determination in the face of overwhelming odds. Thanks for watching. If you have a thought concerning Hans Hube, drop it in a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe.